Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of IDEP. I am Youssef, joined as always by Jonno.
Hello, last one of the year probably.
Last one of the year, and to my right, joined by Chiefs, BK Sama, and to my far left, joined by Kanga Dailo. How we doing, boys?
Good. It's great. Just trying to catch up.
Stand up, come in. Where's his microphone? Come sit in. Come sit in.
Come.
Did you make your flight alright? You came back?
Yeah, well, I got delayed one night, which was not really fun.
You guys were just playing SF5 before.
Well,
actually, I should rephrase that. You guys were playing Kage before.
Yeah.
Thoughts? Early thoughts, I should say.
I would say it's still a bit too early to just say if the character's going to be good or not.
Mm-hmm.
Like when Akuma first came out, everyone just dropped him like after a week, saying he didn't feel like Shoto. But learning from that, I think it's too early to judge. But with the tools he has, he can't stop people from walking back. His strings are really loose compared to Akuma, he do light kick, crash light kick, stand up punch, combos. Kage doesn't have that. He doesn't have good OT off his throws. Anti-air is okay. He doesn't have a back heavy like Akuma. So whenever you're learning Kage, you always think you have to relate how is he different to Akuma and what does he do better. So far, it's not much thing that he does better.
Hot early takes to good Akuma, boys.
And then Diddy, you came back from CWC, which we'll talk about later on, because a lot went down this weekend. So we'll get straight into news.
3 different events. Huh?
3 different events, all in the one.
So
But,
season 4, just
Season 4.
just run after.
The timing of season 4 could not have been any worse, but anyway.
Season
Capcom's
4
great, eh?
Season 4 got released 2 hours before Capcom Cup.
That ruined the hype a lot.
Yeah, season 4 is going on, and everyone in the venue is like, "Man, I wish I was playing season 4." And then everyone at home is like, "Just who's Kage? What happened to my character? What's his? Why can Akuma with V-Trigger can activate all that crap?"
Yeah, can I just say also in comparison to last year's Capcom Cup, where their reveal was actually pretty fucking dope.
What did they reveal last year?
Cigar and everyone.
Oh, and they had the new trailer.
Yeah,
that was so good.
That was actually really dope. Like the grand final was 8, but the reveal was dope. But this year it was the inverse. The reveal was like such a fucking limp dick reveal with Kage and shit. But then the grand final.
I thought the whole top 8 was actually pretty good.
Yeah, quite diverse. You didn't see
Camis or Guiles or Curious. So it was good. And who doesn't like Kachi?
He's a nice fella.
Yeah, it's about you though. He would have
He came out of nowhere.
Champ.
He came out.
You know, if Itazan won, it would have been 3 seasons of grapplers. Because Duke played Mika, then Birdie won, and then Abigail this year.
Do secondary.
No, grand final was all Mika.
Alright, Mika carry us. Alright, fine. 3 seasons.
But look, we'll get to
So
Capcom.
that's season 4 Alex to look forward to.
Oh no, he's rubbish. He's
the new
rubbish.
grappler.
He might be serious.
He's rubbish.
Nah, sorry.
Anyway.
No one likes Alex. Not even Alex plays like Alex.
Speaking of the GOAT game, coming off the back of TWT World Series Finals 2 weeks ago, because of the unfortunate, so CPT Finals were 250k. First place at TWT got 7,500.
Yep.
So a bunch of top Tekken players like Kudans and Book. This comes courtesy of Shoryuken. Might be taking breaks from competitive Tekken.
Yes, it's a bit unfortunate. I don't know why. Actually, I'm upset to see that kind of stuff happen because, gentleman to my right actually brought up a very good point. It's like next time Tekken players flaunt how many copies of the game you guys sold. Can you please let them know that your TWT champion only got paid $700,000 for his year-long effort, which is actually a very good point that Mika brought up. Like these people, just like anyone that's entering Street Fighter, trying to make a living out of this and to kind of get paid at the end of it, just 7,500. It's kind of a bit of backhand to the face. So hopefully next year, it's bigger, more prizable. That's literally the only thing I feel that's lacking from TWT at this moment. Like they're kind of spread up all around the world. They held the grand finals in Amsterdam, which I felt was a nice touch. The game just keeps getting more and more traction, in terms of popularity. The balancing is sometimes questionable, but still on point. Diversity in characters. We had a fucking Panda win a tour. So yeah, just more money for the players, so people can still enjoy it, I guess.
I think at least show some ways where they can monetize on it. Even including like Tekken World Tour DLC on the game, buying costumes, colors. Like imagine you seeing like a double chin turtleneck. Probably cool, you know.
Double chin.
Turtleneck.
Oh yeah, like
Yeah. People buy that, you know,
Yeah.
and it supports the prize pool, you know. I think only this year I saw anything that directly contributed to that was not even directly. You know how Kwamba released some Tekken World Tour sticks?
Yeah.
Maybe that gets contributed somehow, but anything directly, no. So at least they should like copy Capcom.
Cosmetics have always been a big part of Tekken, right? And it's weird that like they're not, because people like that part of Tekken. It's not like Capcom where you have 11 fucking costume bundles. Like Tekken, it plays a much different 3D games. Like Virtua Fighter was the same. It's just it plays a very different role, and I feel like there is a way to do it. They just haven't figured it out yet. Like this is not like any sort of death warning for Tekken. It's just like, all right, come on, like figure this. This should not.
Get your shit together now.
Yeah,
Like,
Tekken.
you're better than
You've got like a diamond in the rough here. Like figure it out.
Yeah.
So you know, it's sad news, but I think they can get it together.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Well, when's the first tournament next year for?
It's
TWT?
usually, I think, fun around.
And they announced
In
that was
Atlanta.
March something, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, this year was actually later. So when final round was announced, there was actually no Tekken World Tour, was it?
I'm honestly, I'm not
I
sure.
can't
From
remember.
memory, usually final round is like the first tournament that brings in the.
Oh no, it was Injustice. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, Injustice wasn't World Tour for final round. It got announced later this year, but yeah.
Anyway. That look, Tekken will get it together. It's like it's the healthiest fighting game on the market, I would
The best.
say.
Well, in relation to that also, because you know how Dragon Ball announced their world tour like
Really
3,
late.
4, 5 months later. That's
Yeah.
what kind of stopped the players from playing.
Yeah.
I feel that's like a big deal of the company that they should really like look into.
Like real early.
Yeah, real early. Like, if
of
they want to
course.
like make the game a thing, they should announce that like on release or like.
So
on
people
film.
know what to look forward to.
Exactly.
Like, I don't want to commit. Do I not want
Yeah.
to commit?
And Tekken doesn't have the licensing problem that Dragon Ball has, which will come
I
up
know.
much
Yeah.
later. with some other events.
Right.
But just breezing through some other in-game news. So Fighting EX latest shared its DLC releases. We got 3 new characters coming. 2019.
2 of them are free.
2 of them are free. So we got Sharon, Area, and Fatal Fury's Terry Bogard. It's good to see that game's kicking on. The characters look sick. If you like the game, that's good news. That game's in arcade, so I might check it out when I go back. But there's that. KO 15 revealed, and Sam's Show is coming to Switch, Xbox One, and PC. And they might port the KOF 14 to Switch and Xbox One, which is getting the balance update. So it's good news for that series. Given the release schedule of like the way KOF works, 15 may work as like 14.5, much like how 13 was 12.5. Like they might reuse that engine. We don't know, but if you look at the trends, that's how it goes. But either way, it's good they're doing it.
It should
KOF
be
is
a good
series.
cough, right? According to the cough law.
Yeah.
One bad cough, one good cough.
Make 13 remasters.
No, they can't. They won't. They should, but they won't.
Yeah.
Oh, and one thing to note, Samurai Showdown is classified R, so they're going down that route with the whole blood and gore shit. So actually looking forward to it.
The thing about the R rating that's good is that, like, our games are not going to have tours, so they might just be doubling down. It's a lot. Okay, it's a lot harder.
MK had a tour.
MK had a tour,
Yeah,
but
okay.
compared to like a PG-13, it's a lot harder to have a tour. So this to me says that it might be going hard on like the fun factor. So like Sam shows the fun game,
I'm
and
down
then
with
KOF
that.
is like the esports game.
I'm
Which is
down
what I
with
thought they were going to do with Soul Calibur 6, but that game is like a mess at the moment.
Yeah, it came out too early. I think just
Song Up 6.
yeah.
I know.
In my opinion.
And then the patch dropped and was like reverted in the same day. Like the new patch had dropped, it was banning everyone online, and they had to revert it the same day they dropped it. Like, what is going on with that game? But anyway, that's good news for KOF players. I'll keep an eye on that one. In other like fighting game news, DLC, Joker from Persona 5 is coming to Smash Ultimate,
boy.
which is hectic news because that means we get Persona 5 on Switch. Who cares about Smash? We get Persona 5 on Switch, but that's good.
Are you trying to play this game?
It's alright. I'm sort of already over it competitively. we can talk about it later, but
I
like,
was learning it, Smash the other day, and just the fact that, well, this was melee, but I think they solved most of the problems in Smash. How you couldn't reconfigure your buttons in melee, so part of the game is why it was so hard because you have to play what you do with. But going into Smash 5 or Ultimate, right, you can change the configurations and just how you different types of attacks where you can only move slightly stick. I didn't like that, so I'm not gonna play Smash.
They have the thing, right? The controller, the thing on the bottom right now. You can just
Yeah.
press
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
So what's
that's
pros do?
smart,
Because
yeah.
tilt is like a partial press of the movement. So then you literally assign a 6 to it. That's what all the pros do. But what they did address in Ultimate, but not enough, was in 4, like, it was very hard to kill people. And some characters had, like, if you were between this percent and this percent, you could kill them. But if you were too high, then, like, you actually lose kill options. And they tried to do a bit of that in Ultimate, but there's still, like, people die early, but not enough. But they might fix it, but I don't know. It's still very, it's not a very good spectator sport at this stage, but it's still pretty fun to play. I don't know, I enjoy it, but it's not very competitive yet,
Not for me.
I think. MK11's out, well, they announced that there's a reveal event on Jan 17th, but
Yes.
at this stage I don't think we know very much.
All we know is Scorpion is in, and Raiden is in, and apparently some Italian website leaked that Liu Kang and Sub-Zero are also in the game.
Sonya, look at that picture.
That picture looked really realistic of Sonya. I want to say she's a staple character, so why would she not be in? Beyond that, Shao Kahn is returning, and the storyline is apparently of some older god that controls time, hence the 2 scorpions. And it's like the one thing that one of the creators said that the hourglass is actually going backwards.
Right.
Yeah, so it's instead of like the sand going down, the sand was going like this. So they've got to do something with the story. So I don't know, January 17th, we got about a month left.
And then it's April 23rd next year.
And then it comes out in April, so
That's
actually
really
pretty quick.
I just wanted to come on PC at the same time, please. Like,
Yeah,
that would help the scene a
It's
lot.
Does it say?
It doesn't say, but it is coming to Switch, which is like a big one. Like,
Oh yeah, it is, and the PC.
but is it timing? We don't know timing. But
True.
the fact that it's coming to this many platforms makes me think I don't know. But the fact that it's on Switch, I'll try it. But
Alright,
it's just on Switch.
Alright, Switch boy.
We'll see. Not long to wait. That's really exciting.
It's good news. The NRS team deserves that.
They deserve a good product
Yeah.
with good animations and music. But
Our system works. Next fighting game is Grand Blue Fantasy versus for PlayStation 4.
which we kind of knew when like Games started like sponsoring and getting involved in the scene, but it's good to see that they finally.
Yeah,
announced
it was
that.
sort of a hint, but like it wasn't like you can't say for sure. You know, they're probably just sponsoring because of Ligos, you know, new games. For them to actually make like a fighting game now, there's a good chance it'll come out before Evo.
Yeah. They already said it's gonna come out before Evo.
Oh, really?
Like they said the game's not the game. They said the game's 60% complete. So yeah, that's I'm 100% sure I read that. They said the game's 60% complete.
Graphics look actually really good.
Yeah, I mean the Grand Blue art style is really nice. There was a bit of misconceptions about the translation. I don't know exactly what was cleared up, but I think it's more footsies focused, less combos focused.
Less combo, but there is still combo, and it's not execution
No
heavy.
air dashing.
No air dashing, so it's not.
So it's meant to bridge the gap. Well, they're trying to bridge the gap between the mobile players.
Essentially.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll see. I'm actually looking forward to it. You know, when I told Alex live the other day that I'm actually looking forward, he gave me the biggest. I'm sorry, Alex, if I offended. You know, want something different, bro.
I think people hear accessible and they're like, oh no, it's like accessible, but they're gonna mess it up. But accessibility, if they do it right, could be like no one's done it right. Like Rising Thunder was pretty close.
Rising Thunder actually, it's very underrated from what I hear. I never played it, but everyone actually that played it say it was actually really fun. Like Wayne loves the game, and I'm serious.
No, I know.
Honestly, and when I was in New Zealand a couple of years ago, I spoke to Mason about it, and he actually Messiah.
Yeah.
And he actually loves the game. Like he was mad. He was like, the game is actually really good. Just didn't get a chance, and he's a bit upset by that. And I don't respect Wayne. No one respects Wayne, but I respect what Mason says. And he was like, yeah, the game is legit. I mean, hey, it's F-Champ's favorite fighter, so let's not.
The problem, like when people talk about accessibility in fighters, you can dumb down the combo system, but it doesn't. You still got frame data, you still got neutral, and that's the actual stuff that's complicated when you talk about fighters. Like,
combo's the last thing you learn. Like,
you don't need it.
You don't need combo.
You gotta understand plus frames and top tiers.
Dion wins
thick and
online
thin.
with Marduck by playing 2 moves. You don't need combos.
But we'll see. Like Arc Systems is probably the best hands you could ask for, and Grand Blue is probably one of the best IPs you could ask for this combo. So we'll see what comes out.
I mean, they would have to try really hard to fuck it up.
Yeah.
Moving along.
Speaking of fucking it up royally, Evo Japan's final lineup was announced.
Oh.
So I'm going to read out the list and you tell me what's not here. Ready? We got Tekken 7, which we knew, Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, and Soul Calibur 6, which were the original 3. And then the final 3 that round out the cast are Street Fighter 5 Arcade Edition.
Yeah, alright, made it, boys.
King of Fighters 14.
Nani.
We did it, yeah, boys, we did it.
Nani.
And Guilty Gear Xrd Rev 2.
You can't hate on Guilty Gear.
You can't hate on either of these titles. They have a pretty active scene.
Personally, like the only questionable one is COF 14.
SNK, they want to pump the game. They saw an opening, they took it.
I mean, the obvious missing names are Dragon Ball Fighters and Smash Ultimate.
Which Mark Mann has come out and said because Toei and Nintendo won't play ball.
Okay.
So it's literally just rights holders. Blaze was their cross tag. Oh, you mean Central Fiction?
Yeah, Central.
They don't want to push it. They want to push a new thing.
Yeah. So.
There's no way they can put this game in arcades, but like that would be highway robbery. If you put cross tag battle in arcades, you drop it, you call your assistant, you die, and it's like give me 100 yen back.
Yeah.
No, but that's what people like about Marvel, you know.
Yeah,
you have Marvel,
but if Marvel was
It's
different
I
fun.
actually like it. Marvel 3, the reason it's so fun because everybody could scumbag you. Everyone, like any character, can be a scumbag.
Was it in Singapore? Like there was some arcade center that had like a Marvel 3 Xbox 360 arcade hybrid thing.
I think Philippines.
And it was like $100. It was like $1 got you 8 minutes or something.
Yeah.
I feel like if you can do cross tag battle, you arcades, that's how you got to do it.
It's fun.
That's really shit that there's no Dragon Ball and there's no Smash.
But like you said, Marco was saying side tournaments. So
Yeah.
we'll see. Japan runs the worst tournaments. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news.
But
Japan runs the worst.
like Didi was saying before, like getting in front of the tours early and saying that shit, I think it's really shitty that if they don't want their titles to be used, like just say it. Like say we don't want to play ball with esports. Then like players aren't going to waste their time playing the game. They're going to like put their things elsewhere. If we're not your focus, fine. Just tell us.
I honestly think
It's shitty.
Ultimate was made with an esports, focus.
I think it's a bit different to DBZ because Ultimate has like so many different parties you got to work with. You got so many third-party characters.
It is.
Whereas DBFZ is like, yeah, nah,
It
fuck
is
you.
totally
Buy our Broly 73rd movie.
Hey, it comes out on my birthday, alright? January 24th.
I think Marvel just fucked up because they want to relate too much to the movie. You know,
Yeah.
with all the gems and all that.
Movie
And
law
then
is
they try and
shit.
make the Marvel World Tour one very gem related.
Oh,
Changing the opponent's buttons.
Tournament.
Yeah, it's just very anti-esports. So
Look, we've been sort of not poo-pooing Evo Japan, but just sort of like tread lightly when talking about Japanese tournaments and Evo Japan.
When you go to Evo Japan, go more for the Japan and less than for the Evo.
That's
Like
if you
that's
go
the
there.
best advice I can give you. When you go Evo Japan, go more for the Japan and less for the Evo.
But yeah, like that's Evo's whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see what happens.
We'll see.
In light of Dragon Ball news, the World Tour Finals got announced as part of World Bull's finals. Red Bull's final summoning, which is
Australia's
what the
long
hell is that?
weekend. I don't know. That's just the finals.
It's
It's the final. That's when
Is
they're
that
gonna
the
summon
final?
Shenron. Yes. That's
You
what
mean
they're
Kazunoko is gonna sub the
Kazunoko is
Shenron?
gonna summon.
And the rest of you are just gonna
And
sit
he's
and
gonna be
watch.
like, give me Yun in Street Fighter 5 and Yun in Dragon Ball Fighters, and Shenron will be like, yeah boy, we in there.
So that'll be interesting because, as we'll get to, Kazunoko has four of the
7 balls. 4.
And a couch warrior Crossup, he won 4 tournaments.
Oh.
First place. He won everything.
Kazunoko he's an insane
He's
human
the
being.
man.
The rules for this tournament are kind of jank. I read somewhere that the last chance qualifiers you can only enter up to 2, I think.
Yeah.
Which is like, what's the? I mean, if you're gonna run that many last chance qualifiers, why are you making more arbitrary barriers? Let these poor players play.
It's just Kazunoko, man. He's an absolute
It's so
asshole.
stupid.
I guess they didn't want to like run one LCQ and just use the top placings.
Top 4, you mean?
Yeah, because then it would make the tournament look bad, or they would have to stop as soon as they announce top 4.
So how many tournaments are they gonna run? Because
4.
the game takes forever.
Yeah.
And like they need like 6 weeks. to
Single
finish
limit,
it.
single limit.
Oh shit.
It's like the Tekken one where they did it however many years back.
Alright.
Which worked because you had like Tekken had all the good personality, so you had like Tasty Steve losing and then going straight on the mic and getting bullied by Eris. Like that's what made that whole thing work. But I think this is gonna run like absolute
Can
trash.
I just ask a quick question? Where's Goichi?
He got his ball.
How's that?
Character crisis.
That like that.
Well, he tried to make his old team work. I mean, it's still kind of working. You see Fenrich, he's still like.
Fenrich lost to Falco. But
We'll
that's not
not
the
talk
same.
about that.
I was there.
You know, actually, you wanna know something? Actually, I was gonna make a tweet. I was like, which international? I was 100% serious. I was gonna make a tweet. Which international is Falco gonna be at? I swear to God. I swear to God. I was actually gonna make a tweet. You know, which international do you guys think Falco is gonna be at CWC? Because he always fucking beats an international
he does.
at a big tournament. He beats Cian, like he beat Fenrich. He always does it, but
But I think Japan just has a Vegeta problem.
Vegeta.
Yeah, he's just that type of character.
He's an asshole.
Yeah.
Vegeta is an asshole.
But yeah, that'll be interesting, those World Tour finals. But I want to talk about more local news because we got like two heavy hitters of the scene. So that's it for international news. So we'll talk about some more local news. The Gfinity finals went down last weekend with victory.
Fuck! Rough one again! So angry!
Going the way of Melbourne Order, Travis, Roth, and Bug taking it over Chopper BK.
Look, I don't feel the thing. I actually like he deserves to win. It's just like, god damn it!
Nah, the way he won makes it salty, I guess.
It's like a combination of
Alright, BK,
ROF
talk
and
about
Birdie.
Talk about the event.
You
Talk
tell
about the
us.
event.
Right, so Gfinity is what we'd say a closed league. You can qualify to play or you get picked up by a team that earns a spot. You'll play for 7 weeks, and in the last 2 weeks, depending on your team standings, you will go in the playoffs. And last week was the grand finals. It was Melbourne Order, which consists of Roth, Travis, Bud.
First season's winners, by the way.
Yeah, so they won first season
They
as
won
well.
first season.
And well, this season, our grand finals was Sydney Chiefs, so me, Somniac, and Chopper.
The big chopper.
Yeah, and we, the format of the grand finals was still the same, and we lost.
4-1. Which is
4-1, yeah.
same score as season 1.
So explain how like the picking of the orders work. It's best of one. You're playing first to what?
So before in the week beforehand, by Wednesday, you have to organise who will play the most and which starting order, and also who will play in the 4th spot, which is important because that person usually you put that person there to stop playing forward, and then who will be in anchor because you'll play 7 matches, and obviously if it gets down to the 6th game, it's 3-3, and you'll have the anchor match. So the last person is the most important. They had some rules setting the order as well. So in the first 3 games, each team member has to play, and then the 4th can be anyone, and then the 7th last spot can be anyone as well. But every team member has to play at least twice in the whole 7 games.
That makes sense.
So when we chose our order, we were thinking, what would they put in the 4th spot just to stop? It won't be Bug. Bug will never be there. It will always be Travis or Roth. So we put Chopper there. And in the last spot, usually, I put Somniac, just because out of those 2, Roth and Travis, I think Somniac does better. And Bug won't be there anyway. So.
Whoa!
Well, I mean,
nice
in
guy.
terms of-
No. I'm just saying. Like they don't trust him enough yet to put
Yeah.
Bug there. Maybe next season
It's
like
still
Bug-
first to one Ibuki, so
Yeah.
you know. And he did give
Stupid
Chopper his
character.
first
Loss,
loss
yeah.
in the entire season, so you know.
I play man up by the way.
That matchup is kind of hard. Like I think when watching the match,
Mm.
it all came down to the last year where Ibuki got like an instant jump release. With me, how I would do that is jump back and punch, but every guy has a slow jump, so maybe he can't actually do that. Just has to block it. And then my match against. Anyway, my match against Roth, so it came down to last wire. I found out the other day that when he does meaty overhead, it's -4, so he actually can't wake up Aegis punish. And then from there, I should have just shimmied, but protect the throw, and I thought there was another mirror behind, so I did overhead, thinking that my overhead would be safe. I got punished it. And then Somniac played Travis.
0 anti-hits.
Somniac, I guess he has a habit when getting pressured or in a high pressure situation. If he gets the anti-air, because with Bison, you actually have to use the early anti-airs now. He doesn't have like a crouch jab, so he has to use crouching heavy. But for that to work, you have to do it really early. So unless you know it's coming or anticipate it very hardly, because you still have to watch the ground game as boxer as well. I think he reported that.
Makes sense.
So congrats to Order, 2 back-to-back
Definitely
champions.
congrats to Order, back-to-back champions.
I heard they were gonna run Kansas over Bug.
Yeah,
You know what
I
happened,
asked
or
them
what?
for
Yeah.
a reason. I think the main issue, maybe Kamzais was busy, but we all thought that they're gonna run Kamzais because Kamzais would probably beat Chopper. And Manat Urine actually is in Manat's favour.
Yeah.
Big time.
So like it would be, I guess it didn't matter, but we were kind of preparing more from that. And then when Bug came in, I was like, oh yes, okay, I play Bug. I know how to be Bug. It's fine. And in regards to next season, I know it looks like from so far from the talks they are coming back. Maybe February even, that early, just to start the online season, and then like, earlier this year, so the offline sessions, the first one started on BAM. They managed to reschedule it. So at least we know now Gfini is very at least considerate of what's happening in the FGC side of things as well, not just setting a date and time.
That's good.
Yeah,
Thank you,
that's
Gfini.
good, yeah. But in regards to that, I think more people should play online, just so we get more diversity players. Because
I want to buy a better internet. I tried today.
You can
just. I played one game today, right? Everything I hit, but everything he blocked.
Just
My
come
screen
here.
to hit. So I'm hit confirming to like Katsu.
yeah, just play online here then.
Yeah,
So
come to
The
BKB.
crush counter this my shit. It's just spinning all day. And my screen I see that I blocked, but I actually got hit and knocked down.
You're a sponsored player. Ask them to cover your BKB entry, and then you can come and stream.
I mean, I like the game and all, but right now, new characters coming. So.
New year, new
It
year.
takes time.
New year, new Kademaru.
It'll be more hype because you have more team diversity instead of just having like 2 weaker teams and 4 good teams. It'll make each week more fun to look forward to. Not saying the other teams are that weak, but imagine you had like
Of course.
Eunice or Didi or
Eunice.
like.
How about KG? Bring KG to
Yeah.
He's free on Sundays.
Bring KG to
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
rename the show KG Theory.
Can you imagine that like interview KG and they're like, KG, what are your thoughts about Dare Ice Coffee?
KG would be like,
Just pause it out on the floor looking at the camera.
piece of juice.
So overall I think the ran things pretty well. We also had like Henry working on the side, so he was telling me what's up. But I know a few issues that came up. So with the headphones,
Still one.
no, that's whatever. But like even just branding issues, like the headphones, you have to use it. You can't put it like on and then move to the side, just because of sponsors. I know some players have issues with that. And even you couldn't even wear your headphones. You just put the like you literally have to.
Oh, Somniac usually does that.
Yeah.
He brings his own headphones.
Monitors, so they're using the old PC monitors. Not used to what we normally use. Might have caused an issue, I don't know, but it was a bit more awkward.
Personally, looking at things from what you told me, I feel Gfinity is willing to kind of work with the players' demands. At least to reach the middle ground. So they're not gonna be like, yeah, whatever you want, boom, done. But I'm pretty sure this is the fact that he said, look, because there was a bit of a clash when they wanted to start the same weekend as BAM. But then I started to look that they don't want that shit to happen again. So I want to say the outlook does look positive.
Yeah, like everyone's been saying, they actually do like Street Fighter the most against most of us viewers.
FGC is the best.
Yeah.
And
Facts.
compared to Counter-Strike, even though Counter-Strike like very popular in Australia, not much people watch it. I think maybe it's just not hype or the format is pretty bad as well. It's just one map.
I think it's just a stunt. Didn't one team get like 0-16? Like, it's,
Yeah.
when people would watch it, yeah.
And like,
They got human
I mean, they want to win. I
Yes.
just like that. They just pick the top players and leave.
They got human bomb.
I guess like the way they drafting 5 different players and letting them work together is pretty hard for CS.
But talking about the format, it's kind of, I mean, best of one sucks, but the fact that like the tournament market in Australia is getting kind of saturated. Like if OHN comes back, you got BAM, which announced, actually I got to pop the news for that because they didn't save the dates for that one. But you know, like you can have your grassroots with traditional formats, but there's nothing wrong with like throwing spanners in the works to sort of appeal to different people. Like not every tournament needs to be the same.
Yeah.
And there are so many tournaments and avenues to play now in Australia that it's like, you know.
I just wanted my suggestion when they were asking for it to work. So with team tournaments, right? You use a 2-life rule. I first saw this format from Monochi. So how we do it in normal FGC, Pokemon style, 1 life, one loss get off, right? Instead of that, make it 2 losses. So just say, if I beat you 2 games, right, you get off, but you beat me 1 game, I only have 1 life left. I can only lose 1 more time as I go to the next opponent in the team. You know what I mean?
So you have,
Everyone on the team gets 2 lives. You can only lose twice.
but within the one set.
Yeah, only
Oh,
one set,
okay. Okay. That makes sense.
So
That makes sense.
it's
It's like a middle ground between
Yeah.
first to one and proper double elimination.
But the loser stays on, right? The loser can't change.
No, you can't change
Yeah.
your character. Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just it's forced to stay on and only can only lose
One more
game,
match.
yeah.
One more match. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
okay.
cool.
That's
cool.
fair, and it shouldn't be that time consuming.
Nah, because like at least you still get the feeling of OCV. You still get the feeling
Yeah.
of like reverse OCVs or even just not even dropping a life. You know that makes it
Yeah, more exciting to
yeah.
watch. More exciting to watch.
instead of when the way we do it, FGCs is like you shoot one game, get off. You know, it's more time consuming to change the buttons. At least now, like knowing that you can lose twice and it's fine.
That makes sense.
And no one uses the team, like, there's a really good team like battle mode in Street Fighter 5 that no one uses. You can remap your buttons in between character choices.
It's great. We tried it once at Brad's house. You know, it was amazing. Yeah, it's really efficient. It looks really nice. How they laid it out, it doesn't load
It's
very
so
long.
good.
You still choose what costume you want. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh,
wow.
it loads fast. It loads really fast.
Hi-Fi on Twitter is like the biggest advocate for that mode. It's actually
It's-
so
I'll
good.
give it.
It's
very
actually
good
like,
rating.
like as much shit as Street Fighter 5 has, like it does have like pockets of genius in it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
the
yeah.
training mode's pretty good when it doesn't lag. The team mode's really good. Like there's actually some pretty decent stuff in there. It's just the overall product is such a pile of steaming shit that you'd never know. The product, not the game. The game's alright. So we'll probably move into the next one, seeing as David's picked up. We'll talk a little bit about CouchWarriors Crossup. I just want to run through the top 3 for every game, and then we'll talk about the event overall. But
Honestly, just keep it Dragon Ball Fighters focused.
all right, we'll do the top 3 for the other 3, or the other games I care about, and then we'll do top 8 for Smash. So like, Street Fighter 5 Arcade Edition top 3 was Kindebu Akuma. Second place Darksided Somniac with Bison. And Kazunoko got first. I heard he picked Ibuki. Is this
Yeah,
true?
someone said
Yes, yes. So, Sonic had a conversation after with Kazu. He said he thinks Ibuki is the strongest character
In the game.
In the game, and he thinks Fujimura was going to win the tournament. So he knew Kami was going to get left, and probably just seeing his options. And like Kami and Ibuki are very similar in the ways how they approach the game. But the V-triggers, the only thing difference is the V-triggers. Kami gets like bigger combos, whereas Ibuki gets mix-ups. But the way they approach the matchups are pretty the same. You know, EX drills like EX Kunai.
Yeah, like jab.
Jab pressure, throw loops in corner. Yeah. So Ibuki's not that much different, and you know the supplies. You know.
Did he play the whole way? Do you
I
know?
don't
Do you know?
I don't really stand in the area, to be honest.
Okay. Well, either way, congratulations, Kazunoko. Tournament number 1. Tournament number 2 he won was Guilty Gear Xed Rev 2, third Ferry, second Lord Knight, and first Kazunoko. He also won Blaze Blue Cross Tag, third CO from Singapore.
Yes.
Second place up again with Team Cancer, and first place Kazunoko with Team Scythe Cancer. Soul Calibur was there, CO won that, there was Smash, who cares. Tekken 7,
Whoa.
alright, fine. It was won by Autosora because Spud was in America. Fucking.
He came 5th
He
and
came
jumped
fifth
out
at a
on the
major,
grass.
and he was beating like top 10 players. He
He
had a
did
sick.
sick.
He had a sick run,
Yeah, so seriously respect the fucking Spud, man.
and respect to Sora for
Is that
winning
tournament? Is he going to be ranked off that tournament now?
Probably.
Or not?
But their ranking system is so stupid and arbitrary. Like I just don't care.
Just want to say none of the gods were at the tournament.
Yeah, it was a regional. There were a couple top 10s,
Yeah, but
and he
there were
took
a lot
sets
of
off
good
them.
players,
Yeah,
yeah.
like it is an
And
achievement.
to come 5th at a tournament, like that's still relatively stacked. No,
Yeah.
man, you have to give the guy props.
Um,
And also shout out to my boy Sora for
yeah, good shit to him. It was just a Sydney player winning the fucking Melbourne thing.
he moved to Melbourne now, but
Oh, really?
fuck him.
yeah, he's in Melbourne now.
Oh, boo.
But it's alright. It's alright. He's still the home. He's still
Okay.
the home.
Tekken 7, third place Gunmo, second place Lee Min Ho, first place Daniel. They all Melbourne players.
Yes, they're all Melbourne
Okay,
players.
good stuff
I
to
think
them.
everyone. Almost
One thing I was surprised actually how Tekken has way more entrants than Street Fighter for that event.
Why would you? Like honestly,
Wait, why would you
if
be
you look
surprised?
at the last 2 years of any Australian tournament, when has Street Fighter surpassed Tekken? In the last 2 years.
The casuals fell off in SF a lot faster than they did in Tekken.
You continue thinking, well,
I think it's Melbourne and Sydney. Like Sydney, you can say like the Street Fighter scene is still kind of healthy, relatively, because Gfinity is located in Sydney.
and we got
But if you
the
put it in
KPD.
regards to Melbourne, there's like then the player base kind of moved to the other games.
They all play on Discord where they can like stroke their egos.
Yeah, man.
Like the Dragon Ball scene in Melbourne
Yeah,
is like
it's
pretty big.
Yeah.
They get probably double run stream with them. Probably like 1.5 times, I think.
Good.
But they've got a lot of players for Dragon. Just great, great game. Great game.
Smash Ultimate had their first big bracket of Australia. Third place was Riot Duon with Inkling, K. Rool, Donkey Kong. Second place, Gigi Ignis with Palutena. I'm so glad she's good now. And then Dark-Sided Extra one with Game & Watch, Wario, and Wolf.
Extra is just winning everything Smash.
With fucking Game & Watch, like,
Yeah,
step it up and
Yeah,
what the fuck's wrong with you?
Low tier.
He
Low
sucks.
Yeah, on like Zero's latest tier list is like one thing.
I want to do the full top 8 for Dragon Ball, seeing as that was
Please.
the show. So tied for 7th place was Seo and Lord Knight, tied for 5th place, Apology Man and Super Noon. 4th place, Japan's Kindervu. 3rd place, Nakael. 2nd place, Tachikawa. And 1st place, the literal ball breaker, Kazu Noko. David, tell me about this event. First of all, who was the top placing Australian? Was Zed and Falco?
Zed and
Falco.
Falco, yes.
Type
And DD Baxter and
Wayne.
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 13.
So what like let's talk about the tournament. Talk about how did Australia do overall? Like,
I'm gonna put it in this order, right? So the favourites I thought would win were of course Cousin Noko. And I thought Fredrich would probably play second.
Right.
Or third or fourth at worst.
he got Topsy, got 13.
Yeah, it's
He
pretty
got
good.
13.
Yeah, so good as Fredrich.
Yeah, you're as good as
Yeah, same with Wang. Wang's there as well.
Wang is
Wang's amazing.
And he'll tell you about it, don't worry.
Yeah.
Shout outs to Agent Numbers though,
real
because
quick. Wang should add tied to Fenrich at CWC tournament at CWC in his Twitter bio.
Fuck
Should
you.
definitely do that because that is a very long.
So who Agent
Anyway, go
Numbers.
on. Agent Numbers.
oh yes, he beat Abigail. He eliminated Abigail.
Really?
Like shout outs to Agent Numbers, but it's not that good at this game.
With Abigail, and his first game he lost to Ando. So Abigail actually lost to 2 Australians.
Yeah.
Hectic.
Yeah.
And Ando's legit. I like
That's good.
he's a bit sus, but
Yeah.
legit sus.
I think he's a bit inexperienced. So he played me in tournament. He won the first game, but although we were quite distracted, we were watching the streams whilst we were playing. Like, yo, that's sick. Because Falco was playing Fenrich, and we were like, yo, this is hard. You want to play? You want to wait? So after he won the first game, I'm like, well, let's finish. So then he kind of lost momentum, and I had time to like recover. I mean, it was the plan. I'm just like, I was team like we were the same. We were like, look, we're not fast with what we place. I just want to watch this. Like, knowing I'm not going to make top 8s. Not, you know.
Not with that attitude,
We're just
bro.
playing.
Fuck, you want to lose 2 spots away.
Yeah.
So what are the other big
But
upsets?
the other thing that I wanted to say is the if I did beat Lord Knight, it would guarantee an Australian top 8 because I would have played Falco for top 8.
Whoa!
Yeah, so I changed the timeline. I changed the timeline because 8 of blue combo. I played too cautious because all I remember the first game, I did like 3 or 4 hard reads on the deflex. I killed the first character. So pretty much full resources versus 2 characters, but I dropped the game. He came back with I think
Guinea's his second.
Ginyu second, yeah. I just I think I played too passive.
So what about like Baxter? Like let's go through all the the runs of the Aussies here. Who did Baxter lose to? What's his team?
Baxter. So the first important match was me versus Baxter for winners top 32. I got bodied. He beat me 2 games straight. I think I didn't get any characters down.
Did you? Ooh.
Yeah, I should have went for this. I went for like deflect bait, but I didn't really react to hard tag, and he kind of just got out. When the point character gets away and you don't really snap it back in time, it feels like the game's even again. Because let's just say you hit him 50%, he was 25%. He's not going to die in your next one combo.
Yeah,
You're gonna
you still need to hit him twice.
Yeah, exactly. So that's how it feels to me, at least.
That makes sense.
So otherwise, good event overall.
Yeah, it was amazing, man. Yeah, it was good.
Zed is still placing very consistent.
He's got a new team now.
He's
So what is
got a new
Zed?
team now
Yes.
as well. So Kid Blue Bara Goku. Essentially the only character he kept from. No, it's all changed. This is like Piccolo, Tien.
This is the
Black.
stronger team. He's got like legit strings that gets highlighted with Kid Buu. His Balrog's gotten better. It's good. He's got Goku combos.
And thank you, Kazunoko, for absolutely just like deleting Australia and then deleting the
Hey, man.
finals.
Kazunoko is now engaged and he needs to prove, himself for his misses. Alright, so you can't hang on the man. You know what I mean? That's simple.
Are
Respect to
the
Kazunoko.
archives for this event up yet? Because it obviously happened the same time as Capcom Cup, so I want to check it out.
There'll be some like what do you call it? Bootleg.
I'm
some
pretty
like
sure,
Russian
like,
idiot.
Zeus's or
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they were.
Oh, the other thing is that's also funny was that since Falco beat Fenridge, Tosh had to play Fenridge. And I was playing casual, looked over, Tosh looked so stressed out. Looked, wait, this is tournament. He just looked at me with like the saddest face. I'm like, bro, sorry, Falco changed it.
Oh,
like,
that
was funny.
When I was in Perth, I watched some of the Japanese tournament that Tosh went to. He actually plays really smart, but I don't know if it's nerves or whatever, but he chokes at the end. I feel like that's it. He was versing I think it was Kindevu, and he had Kindevu down to just his Bada. And I turned around to like Andrew from Perth, and I'm like, watch, Kindevu's gonna make this comeback. And he's like, don't fucking jinx it, Youssef. And I'm like, watch, Kindevu's gonna make this comeback, and Kindevu made the comeback with Bada. Like, I feel he just needs to work a bit more on his nerves, and he's just killer, absolute killer.
Well, he's sponsored, so hopefully he gets more opportunity. That's all you need.
Definitely.
Like a lot of these young guys. Are just
Actually, speaking of sponsors getting opportunities, I just want to go back to Gfinity for a second. And when they interviewed ROF at the end, and they're like, what are your plans for 2019? He actually said, he'd like to make Capcom Cup. And I'm actually all for any Australian making Capcom Cup. So if we can get an Australian Capcom Cup, I'm down with that note. So hopefully the players, I'm not just going to say the sponsors, I'm just going to say the players and the orgs can work together and we can get a Australian.
We just have so much working against us because of where we are. Like it's so much, it requires so much more monetary investment for any tour to create the opportunity for these players.
It'll be sick. Trying to get Dion into Capcom Cup next year as well.
Dion in the Capcom.
Sorry,
Sorry.
Dion, I told Dion, he's like, who do I bet on? I go, Dion, bet on Fujimura and bet on Gachiku. He's like, I want to bet on the Rashid player. I'm like, yes, bet on the Rashid player. He's good. And he bet on the Rashid player, and he's like, I bet on the Rashid player to win everything. I'm like, good boy, I told you. So yeah, he did good.
So did CouchWarriors. Looked like a good event. I'm looking forward to checking out the archive for that. Good to see Australia getting like that level of exposure. It's good for you guys because you got to play against like all the internationals. Were they pretty receptive to casuals and stuff?
Yes, there were plenty of setups for casuals, which was good. Also, they spaced out how the pools were. So like let's just say pool 2, pool 3. Usually the finish on time is like 10 minutes of downtime. Just become casuals till like the next hour.
That's good.
Which is really good. Also, like because I bought my laptop setup just in case they didn't have casuals or something, get some games. Most tournament players, or like the states, that didn't want to play on the laptop because of the different lag. Yeah, I mean that's I think a point to bring up because also like you can set that default game lag, frame lag in versus mode as well, which they added I think a few patches ago. So as you enter a local battle, you speak to that guy, and then the second page you could enter a frame lag.
Alright.
Yeah, you should set it to 2 because that kind of makes a difference. Because after playing the long weekend me and Zed, we just played one laptop, right? We're dropping a lot of combos on me. Yeah, we should really hit it to 2 frames because after playing like every day for the whole weekend, we definitely could feel the difference. When you just do your strings or combos.
So what is the extra 2 frames?
2 and a bit, but 2 is good to say.
Sick. Well, good stuff to them. That was a really good way to end up the Australian tournament calendar year. But now on to Street Fighter 5. So I've got Capcom Cup listed last because I think we should. Actually, what do you guys want to cover first? The patch notes or the actual Capcom Cup?
Capcom Cup.
Alright.
Just our timeline events.
So the actual production I thought was like pretty rat shit. Like in terms of the way they space it. Like top 8 started 2 hours late.
Yeah.
They had these weird ad breaks with like a DJ that like contextually just didn't make any sense whatsoever. The last chance qualifier was actually like I thought.
That was good. Yeah, that was good.
And the fact that ZG, like the grand finals was, if you haven't watched it, like it's such an interesting set between Danda Kills who plays Blanca and Dalsim against ZJZ's Matt.
No, I'm pretty sure it's Black.
No, I think it's Dalsim.
No, but he used Dalsim to get all the way up there. Like he hit, like that Dalsim beat a lot of killers like Ryusei, even Dobra, I'm not sure. He beat like a lot of people on the way there where I expected, wow, I didn't know this Dalsim player was actually that good. Because he's always in wins and not fights, right?
Yeah.
To see him actually go that far ahead against ZJZ, where ZJZ, I think he got top 8 at TGS. And from there, like beating Bonchan twice.
Where's he from?
Taiwan. He's a KOF player. He won Evo Japan, I think, this year for KOF 14.
Wow.
He's like a KOF god, and he's like, alright, I'm gonna pick something cheap and stupid. And if you look at the way he plays Menard, it's like he went to cliffnotes.com. He's like, why is Menard busted? And he read the 3 points, and he just did that.
Yeah, because as the way ZJZ plays Menard, you don't have to learn specific about the matchups. It's more about just being in the right place and doing your own thing, you know. Because then eventually people get frustrated, you know, they'll take risks, and Menard just eats that up for them.
So the actual last chance qualifier itself was a really good tournament. The production staff did a good job of like capturing the hype of the room. Like that was really hectic. But the event itself, like in between the ad breaks, like the matches weren't lined up very well. Like top 8, we're talking about top 8, but in terms of day 1, there was lots of downtime between matches. And in addition to having the on-screen ads, the in-game ads, which can we kind of say fuck that shit? Like the in-game Street Fighter ads are the most obnoxious shit in the world. So you got the overlay ads, you got the ads in-game, and then every time there was an ad, like a break in the action, Twitch on mobile would feed you 19 ads.
Yeah.
So fuck, I cop 19.
Oh,
so fuck that shit. That's bullshit, and I don't care like who you are. That's rubbish.
Adception. Ads inside.
The ads in Street Fighter 5. The ads in Street Fighter 5 are the most tasteless, tacky garbage, and you get absolutely nothing for it. Like the patches themselves. First of all, Dawson, the lore of Dawson skulls are like they're dead children, right? And they're like, yeah, Capcom Pro Tour, man. Like, stick it on. Like it's just disgusting. And then the ads themselves are not shaded. They run a $10 premium stage, which has ads in them. Like it's Capcom. Get it together. That's not even close to acceptable. So I thought day 1 was trash, and I was in Melbourne, not at like for another thing. So I actually got to watch the archive, which was probably the best way to watch top 8, day 1. Top 8 started 2 hours late. They had a DJ, and Freezer's saying in the chat that DJ Qbert loves Street Fighter. That's great. It was not appropriate for the event. Like, as someone who had not watched any Capcom Cup all weekend, I open it, I see like 2 perky nipples, and this like DJ. What is going on? Like,
she had no idea what she was doing.
I remember watching the stream. Oh, Capcom Cup. Is that like they forgot to turn off the stream? They're using the venue for something else.
It's so bad.
On the rappers though, remember the rapper that goes, "Oh, this is game out on PC."
So
I love Street Fighter. I remember Capcom game, but it's Street Fighter on PC.
Oh my god. I mean, and top 8, like they gave a time, and then top 8 started 2 hours late. So that was BS. It worked for me because I got on the plane when top 8 was meant to start. I get to Sydney, I'm like, what's happened? It's like nothing's happened. So like
You're good.
The actual production was pretty. Like I'm not blaming Tenor. Like Tenor, oh god, like what they do is probably on the Capcom side of things, but credit when credit is due. When top 8 started, those matches were like they were going. Like the match still, it was gonna be a break. It's like no, the players were in the wings, and then the matches just went. And when top 8 started, the top 8 portion of Capcom Cup was like really, really well done. It was match after match after match. You had Tasty Jam on commentary, which was really good. Also, F-Word not being able to commentate
So
was like such a cop. And apparently they announced the commentator super late. So he was at the event because he'd already booked all his stuff because they didn't tell him. And like, we're not going to throw anybody under the bus, but like, come on. Like, it was just like, come on.
F-Word, I feel like he's kind of become a staple.
Like he works so well with Logan. He's like
he works so well with everyone.
He used to be a player himself. Like he actually still plays the game. He knows. Like he knows what people are trying to do.
He's just such a lovable human being.
Yeah.
Everyone loves F-Word.
And it's not like with Capcom Cup, it's like, oh, well, they can learn for next year. Capcom Cup's been around long enough where all this shit should run like clockwork. And like, we gave credit to top 8. The top 8 portion was, once it started, was like phenomenal, but a lot of the commentary pairings, like the analyst desk was whatever. Like there was just like a lot of production issues that shouldn't have been there for an event that's been there for that long.
Alright.
Can
I ask, did anyone pick Gachikun to win?
No.
Yeah. Tibet or
besides Dion, did anyone pick Gachikun to win?
Wait, before top 8 or after?
Like,
before the whole event?
He didn't drop a game to top 8. Like when he hit top 8, it was like, alright, he might win. But I don't think anyone picked him before.
I mean, if you see his run, it's kind of like how Mena Hadi did it last year. Just like ran through everyone all the way up until top 8. And then everyone's like, maybe this guy's gonna win. And then he ended up winning. And then this year, same thing. Gachikun kind of like ruined everyone up into top 8. And like everyone's like, maybe this guy's gonna win. And then he won.
Like we were talking before, I told you Takedo and Sako were in your
Oh yeah, 100%. Like,
but
we agreed on that ages ago.
like and the way Sako lost to Bonchan was like, fuck. Of course you were gonna lose like that, you idiot.
That's the only one.
Finish your combo early, you idiot, and just take the round. He did it and he lost. Like that's the most Sako way to lose. And then Takedo dropped to Gachikun and Momochi, which is like Japanese players, they play a lot. But he got, was it 3-0 against Gachikun? Like, he got washed by
That
Gachikun.
was so bad.
The last mini tournaments, ever since Southeast Asia Major and the ones before that, because Takeda lost to, I think, 3 shit tournaments in a row. He lost it, was it
Big Bird.
Big Bird?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Gachikun was 3-0, he lost to Big Bird pretty hard.
I don't think it's it's just Takedo doesn't know. Like, the Kuma doesn't have bad matchups, I'm sorry.
No, I think it might be the matchup himself, just the way that Takeda plays it. Because we all know Takeda isn't that good at anti-airing, and like Takeda is so focused on punishing neutral against Rashid, against Crush Heavy. He's always standing in the right place. He's too focused on the ground, maybe trying to throw fireballs, and he's never watching out for those jumps. Because when you block a jump from Rashid, he actually can start his infinite pressure if he does need it, you know, and eventually get pushed in the corner. You will see even Takeda, when Takeda review reverses, that's when you know he's fucking stressed. That's when you know he's stressed. Because as a Kuma player, you actually just block or take the throw. Because when you get your V-trade, you know, that's when party happens.
True.
So Takeda lost to Gachikun Momochi, Sako lost to himself, Bonchan, and who beat him in losers? I can't remember. But more importantly, who beat Fujimura? Was Irizan?
Irizan knocked him out.
Ah,
Gachikun, winners final, and then Irizan finished the job.
It was 3-2.
I wasn't expecting that. I thought, looking at the top 8, like Fujimura was going to win. You know,
Yeah, I thought
it was a breeze. Like seeing him in pools, like he didn't look stressed at all.
And he's been in every single Capcom Cup top 8 so far.
Yep.
Every single one.
Only person to do that.
Yeah. And he's just like, he's just so quiet, so people like just kind of forget he exists sometimes. But he's just so good. Oh, and can we give a shout out to Master X Angry Bird, you know, making top 8?
Yeah, let's actually run through the complete top 8 first. So tied for 7th was Momochi and, like you said, Angry Bird, who had an awesome run.
Yeah.
That guy had an awesome run. Tied for 5th, Bonchan and Jaewon. Bonchan, who said he was going to use Sagat and then never used Sagat, which was the right decision. 4th place, Razor Cien with Ibuki. 3rd place, Fujimura with Ibuki. 2nd place, Irabashi Zangief with Abigail. And of course, Gachikun took it. If you haven't watched any of these matches, you actually get to experience it in the best way possible, bullshit free on YouTube. There were a lot of really good sets. The ones that stuck out to me were Grand Final, obviously was really good. Irizan Jaewon was really good.
Problem J1 was
really good. And Meta RD, ZJZ
yeah, that was
so good.
That's how you know, like you can actually see the emotions of players. Like you can tell how this guy's feeling on the outside, even just from watching the game. Like you can tell ZJZ was looking stressed towards the end. But in the first half, he was keeping Mena out, you know, keeping it cool. And you see Mena just losing his mind after losing the first 2 games, and he just went ham
Because the production, they were capturing the storylines of these. So in between the matches, you're looking at these players. You're looking at Mena, looking at the Dominican Republic guys who are all there going crazy, and you can see the expression change on his face.
Was Cabra assisting full effect?
No, he was playing at the same time.
Yeah. Because Cabra had a good run. He got tied for 9th. He beat a lot of fucking really good players.
He did. He's easily the best guy now.
Yeah.
Just
Daigo too.
No, not
Yeah, jet lag.
No, but you can't judge Daigo for that tournament. But in terms of character proficiency, I think Cabra is the right middle ground. Where Daigo sometimes he's trying too much to innovate and not doing what he's best at from Dooms. Cabra actually goes in sometimes. He has good gambles, and the way he optimizes combos is way better.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Chris T, for all the crap he caught, he had a he's a Muppet. You can call him a Muppet.
Your mate David.
You can call the guy a Muppet, but you gotta give credit where credit is due. He had a run through that tournament. He beat Fudo.
Oh yeah, 3-0.
Yeah,
Oh,
3-0
Oh,
Fudo.
explain the lag that happened that they had on the monitors.
Yeah,
Compared
apparently
to all the
Oh,
cables.
so that venue, I actually been to it myself, right? They use 27 inches LG monitors.
It's the, what is it, esports arena
Vegas,
in
yeah.
Vegas.
Reason why, and I think they couldn't change it out anyway because all the on-stage monitors were all connected to everywhere, you know. So it's not just HDMI and power. No, there's actually way more cable splitters because it goes back to the control room where they control who goes on stream. And the reason why those monitors are there is because I think just even because that place venue acts as an internet cafe, and all those kids they send all the kids there when the parents get out because they're in the casino, right? So they're always there. I think not having a sponsor for the Pro Tour as well, not Zowie before, just makes it harder. So there were definitely lag. Itazan complained about it. Christy complained about it.
Christy complained.
Water is wet, more than lemon.
He won that time though, or was he on? He was on the.
No, the funny thing, he's won the first game against Fudo and complained about it. It took 10 years to solve. And in the end, they just told Christy, like, no, you gotta do it.
Like, shut up. It's like, it's 10 o'clock, like, you know, you're up now.
There you go.
I thought that only happened on one of the setups, or player 2, not player 1.
That's the side Christy won. And he still complained about the lag. Because it's
Well, someone had to tell him if he's not going to fix it, then everyone's going to get fixed.
Well, they'll probably just tell him esports rules, you know. You want to get paid, you gotta play by the rules, right?
Yeah.
You know, you woke up early for
This is the future you all wanted. Like,
Yeah.
this is what you wanted. It was a good event. I recommend, like, Street Fighter 5 is Street Fighter 5. You like it or you don't. That is the game now. You either like it or you don't. If you like Street Fighter 5, it was a good representation of this season. And no Guiles and no Kami in top 8 made for a very, very interesting set of
Two
matches.
rookies though.
Yeah, well, like...
But to counter that, 2 Sekis.
And no Kuma's in top 8 either.
Yeah.
And there was a sneaky Manat. Look,
But it was Justin.
It was a good representation.
There were 3 Manats there, and the Manat that made top 8 is like Fisher Price 2 butter neutral, like Justin Wong. Like, I love where Justin is at the moment.
That's
Like,
good.
it's such a good, it's good. I love that character. Like, you have to be full try hard.
By the way, pro tip for anyone who wants to bet on Street Fighter 5 from, you know, the god himself, Dion, he like called Gachi winning the tournament from day one. He told me this the other day. He goes, I figured something with SF5. When I watched the game, I feel the game is very random. So how I wanted to bet on someone who's good but still an underdog. Because that way, you know he's gonna win at something like Capcom Cup. I'm like, Dion, you're a fucking genius. That's why you're the best at Tekken. You're just a genius.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, like,
If you want to bet on Street Fighter 5, ask the Tekken player. And also, what about that tweet from Punk? Apparently,
whatever. He's a young kid.
Gang back on.
Like, he's a young kid. He's a young kid who got like destroyed on the biggest stage and has not recovered from it.
Oh,
The guy has such incredible pressure on himself.
No, but the thing is that he actually respects Bonchan and like
And then he-
some team and then he just calls him out for that.
Calls him out. I'm like, dude, like respect.
Well, it's deleted anyway. I think sponsor probably told him or work up to it. But yeah, so Punk made a tweet after losing, like he complained about.
He lost to Cabra.
He
He
lost
lost
to
to
Cabra.
Cabra.
He
Guy.
complained about
Bonchan and Daigo coaching Cabra to
coaching, but he wasn't even coaching. He was just playing casual beforehand. And Bonchan like made a tweet to him saying, "Oh, we only play Cabra because we hardly play with him, you know." And he asked, so it's not like they can say no. And he didn't expect that would directly influence the match or the outcome of the match. Yeah.
No, it's like
People have their rights. man.
Yeah,
They wanna
like,
play.
you can't say, alright, Bonchan, you're not allowed to play Cabra, Daigo, you're not allowed to play Cabra, alright?
But like in the Punk, like you got as much of an idiot as he can be. You gotta feel like he was top of the world, won E League. Like, is he the best Street Fighter 5 player? And then he's just off the cliff. You gotta think like the effect that had, and then he gets dropped by Echo Fox, makes Capcom Cup, but like not. He's not like poised to win it. You know, he's like he made it. He earned it, but like the kid has got some serious pressure on him, and he's young. Like I'm not excusing the tweet, but if you contextualize it like that, it makes a little bit more sense.
No, but when you watch him play now, he feels like he's trying too hard to play to win. Where when back in you see PG and the Global Punk, he was playing because he wanted to show off his skills. You know, you don't see that anymore. You feel like there's more desperation in his play, not just finesse or clean.
Well, that's why the cami, the cami pick is pretty indicative of that, and that's why when you drop the cami, went back.
Yeah.
I do agree where like season 2 Karen was so much stronger, like her legs were, it was actually longer, she was shorter now. Like the 9 frame heavy kick, now it's what, 12?
Yeah.
Her damage nerf, it kind of makes him want to like, every character players went through that, adjust and change characters, Zed, myself, finding other characters to play. Punk used season 2 Karen more to the character's advantage, where he was more like ground heavy. And right now you can't really play with that because the buttons are, I would say god shit, and damage god shit. Or V trigger 2 is better than V trigger 1 kind of some matchups. I think it shined Punk's personality with the character more in season 2.
That makes a lot of sense actually, yeah. And Punk's hit confirms are always so on point, and now it's
That's still there.
And with Bonchan's character, he makes better decisions, I feel, rather than like. But I think with punishing and all that, I think Punk's better. But with decision making, where like just go for frame traps or like just throws, Bonchan makes better decisions. That's why I think his Karen is better than his right
his
now.
Karen is maybe what 5th.
Yeah,
And
really
Punk's-
good.
Well, he did play Nash. Like, which matchup did he play Nash?
I don't know.
It was against.
Oh, Ibuki, Sien, I think.
Yeah, Shen.
Was that it, or he went Karen all the way?
No, he played. It wasn't against Manat or Ibuki, I don't remember, but it was a weird pick because Karen does better. I can't remember which match.
Anyway, it was a good event.
That was a good event.
Check it out. Check out the archives. But there was some news to come out of the event. Unfortunately timed, so the Street Fighter V 4.0 dropped. It dropped on PS4 during Top 8. So we found out about the reveal, which is another Akuma clone, or another Ryu clone in the case of... It's an Echo Fighter fucking Kage, which is basically like Evil Dan. If you look at his moveset, he's very much like...
Evil Dan.
Because the fireball, the buttons, like he's very much Evil
the
Dan.
janky tatsu.
So during Top 8, our group chat, Twitter, no one gives a shit about Top 8 at that point. Everyone's just like, what happened
I'm
to
not
Kage?
and the group chat is going off with all these, who is Kage? Check this new Chun-Li combo, it's useless but it looks funky. I'm like, what is happening?
Manat V-Trigger 1-3 bars, Abigail V-Trigger 1-3 bars, oh my god, Ibuki's still broken. And anyway, that was probably the most unfortunate thing that could have happened.
Someone's getting fired, either someone at Sony or someone at Capcom.
Oh, 100%.
But maybe because they told Sony, alright, look, our tournament's gonna finish exactly at this time, But
next
they
minute,
didn't account that
2 hours.
2 hour delay, so
Yeah, they shot
maybe
themselves in the own foot.
yeah.
They just did it, sent the email, okay, like ASAP.
The best was Ono's on stage, he's like, when do you want to play this patch? Tomorrow? Next week? And the chat's like 3 hours ago? So good.
Otherwise, it could have been a very good reveal, at least. Like
A better reveal.
Not better than last year's, but at least with this one, we would have been able to see the patch notes after the tournament, play a game after straight away, try a new character. But Sony did it earlier, I guess.
Yeah.
well, how come they didn't release the full season?
Because, okay, they've said they're doing things differently,
Alright.
which is free to play. Like, free to play has to be coming. There's no other explanation for everything they're doing. Like, it has to be coming. Can you guys think of anything else they could be doing?
So yeah, that free to play is a very good way of seeing it. With all those, so as you were watching Capcom Cup, they were heavily showing that there was discounts for many of the season characters. Letting people, trying to get people's like money before it actually gets free to play. But when they go free to play, obviously no one's gonna buy the characters that they don't need or want. So now they're trying to discount with all the season pass. So by the time free to play happens, maybe next year, at the same time as arcade. Another theory was that they were trying to mix up with those leaks, trying to find out who were leaking their stuff.
The Viper.
Yeah, the Viper
Rose.
stuff. Because I know Namco has a way of avoiding leaks, giving this information to different parties to find out the source of those leaks.
Go.
Yeah.
And go.
That's pretty
smart.
smart.
That's actually very smart.
Like,
That's Galaxy
if you
brain.
work for Namco and you got told a secret, and then the fact that Namco tells everyone different secrets, you'll be very scared to leak it.
Yeah.
So I guess Capcom wanted to avoid leaks, or maybe their stuff has been leaked for real, and they wanted to try and mix it up with the order of the characters by putting a different order to throw people off more. But yeah, it's obviously because we know Capcom knows that fans do enjoy them announcing the full roster of what they're going to pay for with the season pass. You know, Capcom has listened to people. They wouldn't bring the silhouettes back. That's no way for sure. So maybe they're working on something big.
Honestly, I hope so. I've been saying this for like years now. The reason I get so fucking annoyed with Capcom, it's not because that they're shit. It's because they can be so amazingly good, but they just choose not to.
The reveal last year was like.
The reveal last year was amazing.
That was good.
amazing.
That is a masterclass in goodwill.
I was like, and everybody knows my disdain with SF5, but I was actually fucking hype as shit.
But then, like the ads. Oh
actually,
my god!
I haven't seen any of Capcom Cup.
Why? Why ads in the
I took the
game?
time for work to watch CWCPT, and I was like, fucking another Monday off, 2 weeks later, and be like, yeah, I'm sick again. Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, well, obviously I'm gonna choose to miss out on Capcom Cup as opposed to TWT.
So let's talk. You guys were playing Kage before. Do you want to talk a little bit about Kage?
Yeah.
Then we'll talk about the biggest winners and losers in the
Alright,
match.
you can start it.
Oh, he's fun. Just play him.
He's fun just playing. All right.
I've only touched him for like, I don't know, an hour, 2 hours tops. He's got the buttons, he's got the damage. I mean, if you watch Bunker and all that play, he looks like broken top tier. You think he might get nerfed and all that. But when I'm playing him so poorly. Yeah, it takes time. Definitely you won't be the best with him. It's like, give him like half a year, I think.
So he's a cross between like Dan and Evil Ryu. He's got the axe kick. He's got the limpy fireball. The buttons are a bit weird. But yeah, I don't know. 900 health character, mix up heavy. V triggers interesting. How do the two V triggers work actually? Can one of you go over that? I can't remember.
V trigger. So I use V trigger 1 just because it's 2 bars, and that V trigger allows you to cancel in a safe teleport off normals or specials, right? So this actually, you can actually do wake up and cancel into DP on block or hit. You have to commit, you can't wait for the DP to hit. So that gives you a new defensive option never seen before in Street Fighter, round 5. What else? And he also makes his B skill like a parry move. You fully charge it with 20+ on block, I think. And yeah, that's about it. V trigger 2, we talk about it.
V trigger 2, well, activation, he does the slam thing. You know how like Akuma's V trigger?
Yeah.
But when you press it, it just does 1 hit. So you do your DP, you finish the hits, and then you toss it. It's a hard knockdown, you get setups off it. What else? On hit, you get it twice, but I think on block, you can get it 3 times.
Yeah.
On block, it's -2, so it's safe. So if you want to do like a sweet.
In Street Fighter 5, -2 is +2.
No, -2 is bad.
Yeah. So it's a sweet V trigger. It's a thing. I think it's cool. One thing about the character though, like you can't. I mean, you can hit confirm, but it's a lot harder. So with crash, shimmy, kick, light tatsu, it's possible, but it's just hard.
Show me. I played Chun.
Stand middle punch. Yeah, you can tell me.
Yeah, show me after. I'll see. I haven't touched him yet.
Well, what's cool is that you can he confirm his forward feet. So that's like Kuma's feet into demon. It's really interesting stuff.
On counter hit, I saw this clip on YouTube.
Overhead, right?
No, it's some toe kick that he does. I don't know, it looks like a stand middle kick or something.
Oh yeah, that is the middle kick.
Oh, on counter hit, guaranteed demon.
That's cool.
Oh no, you can just max this on normal hit.
Yeah,
oh, is it?
Yeah. You can actually super cancel, like a special cancel off his normals into demon. So it's not a link, you can literally press unit click and then do the demon or grab it.
What is this demon just normal?
Jab, forward, like kick, heavy. Yeah,
okay, so no.
So like it's obviously very early. I like that they dropped the patch now because they didn't do this. Did they do this last year where they do the 4.1 like the 4.0 now?
No,
and just
so I
final
remember
round?
because earlier this year the new patch came out.
Evo Japan.
Evo Japan. So I had like 5 days to prepare for the new patch, and like thankfully my character wasn't that bad. And so Capcom Cup ended maybe December 5th last year, and the new patch came out January 15th came out. So you only had like a week to prepare for Evo Japan, and then they released a rebalance again after NCR. So NCR probably April.
Castle in the chat says May.
May. Okay, May. But yeah, so
before anything, is that Castle Prisma?
Yes.
Dude, you're sick on Gfinity, like straight up. And I don't want to like say nothing about last season's dude, but you are actually fucking insightful and smart, and I thoroughly enjoy your work on Gfinity.
Clap in the chat for Castle.
Mad fucking props to you, my dude. Like I'm being dead serious, and you know.
Clappers in the chat.
Like seriously, big ups, man. Big ups.
Yeah, so with the timing of the patch, it's good, but everyone, overall, based on how the patch is, it doesn't really feel like a new season. It's more like
Tweaks.
just more tweaks to make the top tiers weaker. It's not even like a massive, because every yearly patch, right, you expect like the tables to flip or the tier list to turn upside down, right? Nah, it's very similar. Like Ibuki's probably still top 3, Puma's still top 3, Gale's still good, Nat's definitely weaker, Candy's definitely weaker.
Good.
So, and then they buffed the second V triggers as other characters as well. Then maybe we'll see some new things there, but in terms of the whole tier list, everyone will slowly either go up 1 or 2 tiers, but it won't be like a massive shift. Like
That's good.
from Laura season 1 and Laura season 2, you know, that's huge. Boxer season 1, season 2, you know. Even Rashid season 2 or season 3, it wasn't that huge, but he got good because people didn't know how to play him. Right now, with what we're given, I'm pretty sure we already figured out all the hidden killers. You know, there's no one that could be good with this patch. Even though you see Alex maybe getting heaps of buffs, he's never going to be that good. You know, I mean, he's always going to be worse than Abigail. So I would call this patch like 3.75. Not serious.
That's
3 3/4.
Like, I think people were hoping for a new mechanic, like the second V skill, whatever, but it just
or
didn't
even
come.
like V cancels, like, you know, using up your V gauge to FADC essentially, you know.
No, like
Or second V
shit, that
skill.
shit. No,
Nothing-
FADC.
This is like if Capcom like decided to stop working on Street Fighter, everyone would be very disappointed. That's for sure. Like, so everyone's obviously like fully expecting a new patch, maybe when CPT starts again in March. But if this is the patch we have to deal with for another year, it's a lot of people will be very bored very quickly.
But like, I also feel the game is like, we're going into season 4. I reckon this game has got maybe 2 more seasons after it. Like, you're halfway through the
No,
last.
we already know the last
2020.
patch will be
2020.
No, 2022.
no, in 1 year. The last balance patch will be in 1 year time. That's
How
for
do you
sure.
know that?
Because then they're not gonna rebalance at the end of 2020. They'll rebalance it for 2020. That's it.
Yeah, because they said that they only
So in the
they support
yeah,
for
in 12 months,
Five.
the final balance patch will come.
Yeah.
And hopefully arcade release is already up there. Like,
Well, you know, there's like, they're smart because they know at this point Street Fighter 5 is not going to win new people. Like, the free to play is like a last ditch effort to get people back. But you know, you either like it or you don't at this point, right?
they can still like make a few major tweaks to it. Like, I know a lot of people started Street Fighter 4 late throughout the era. You know,
Yeah, like Ultra.
yeah, Ultra Arcade Edition. They didn't play Vanilla or Super. You know, some people came in like 2012 or Ultra.
But the buzz around the game was also a lot better than 5. People were still like, everyone who liked 4 was jonesing for 4, and like 3 out of the 4 of us at this table are Street Fighter 5 players, and I spent like 20 minutes going on a tirade about everything wrong with the game. Like, the perception around the game is very different,
True.
I think. But
Well, I'm very surprised to see how Street Fighter 6 will come. You know,
I mean,
Because-
I've been waiting
because-
for the system.
because obviously they're gonna listen to the complaints about 5, you know, and work from that.
Yes, but
So
at the
then-
same time, esports.
can I give my tinfoil hat theory about Street Fighter 6?
Yes.
You want to say?
I was gonna say like maybe the generation PlayStation 5. Maybe you think they're gonna wait for that?
Maybe. I
Isn't
think they have to.
PS5 slated for like 2020 or 2021?
Yeah, that's what I mean. 'Cause that's how I see it with it right now.
It has to be a PS5.
Like the
phone.
graphics seems pretty up there already. It's hard for I think Street Fighter to get any better. I mean, the technical graphics feels like they spent a lot of time on it, which is really good. But for a 2D fighter, like Street Fighter 5 is really good for what it is. I feel like right now, even if they do make Street Fighter 6, it's
I
still
think
gonna be
it'll be
Street Fighter 5.5.
But
It's just
I honestly don't think so, because if you look at the history of Street Fighter, like from Street Fighter 2 to Street Fighter 3 was a massive change. From Street Fighter 3 to Street Fighter 4, massive change. 4 to 5, again, massive change.
Like-
And I don't think they're gonna finally break the cycle of Street Fighter 5, because you know the reception was so fucking stellar. It's gonna be so
But there's something that happened at Street Fighter 5, the launch of Street Fighter 5, that has never happened with any other fighting game, like in terms of generations.
what, 5,500 intercept you got?
The tours, like the sponsors had Capcom by the balls. Street Fighter 5 came out 2 years too early. We know this. Ono has said in interviews he wanted to run Ultra Tour last year, and you can look at Arcade Edition in comparison to the other seasons. It was not fit. Like Arcade Edition felt like season 1. Like a definitive. The product was there. Training mode was good. It felt as complete as it probably could have. Like it was not perfect, but compared to the other seasons, I think that you look at Tekken World Tour, you look at CPT and how it's declined. The number of events has gone down this year versus other years. I think by the time Street Fighter 6 rolls around, that role is gonna be very different. I think it's gonna have I have a feeling that the CPT around Street Fighter 6 will be tacking onto existing events again a lot more than it did this year, where you had like the tour finals its own thing. I feel like for these tours to be sustainable, they need to go to the community events, and they need to not demand like they did. Like we know that these tours come in as TOs. We can tell you they come in and they demand things, but the tours are not pulling in the money that I think that these publishers were expecting because of the way the genre works. Like the netcode, the player base, the fact that it's a 1v1 game, it's not pulling in the numbers. I think when Street Fighter 6 rolls around, rather than going to the publishers and then just like jerking them off under the table, Capcom are going to stand their ground a lot more, because they know that like the product is more important than the tours, and they're going to. I think they're going to be trying to look to the community rather than the publishers and build from that point. I think.
Honestly, that's like ultimate dream, because
It's not dream, it's reality. The publishers aren't putting the money in.
Alright,
They didn't get the money they want.
No, another thing I've come to realize, even just beta testing Street Fighter 6, who are you gonna actually test? Because what if those players want to be in the Pro Tour?
Did it matter for Injustice? Not really.
No, because the testers, well, that was the, I don't know.
It didn't matter for Injustice.
Because initially they were winning everything, and that's the whole thing, hashtag banned and tested.
But it didn't matter. Like,
it did, because they were winning everything.
When?
When the game first came out, they were winning everything.
Like,
so that's why everybody was in uproar, it became a thing, banned the
I don't know why I'm arguing with that.
how good do you want the game to
I'm
be?
just so pulled out.
Like, depending how good your game wants to be tested, like, comes from who you want to use, who you want your tester to be. But then they might want.
The hardest bit is picking the people. You need to pick different people that look at different things. Like, you can't just pick someone like, I don't know, like someone who just like specific something, and it's like, of course they get their arguments for the game. They're going to be very biased towards something. Like, you pick Chris G, and of course he just wants to zone you up, for example. So he's going to be looking, how can I zone this dude out so I can make him pull his hair out. You pick someone like, I don't know, Pierre Barrow, he just wants to be in your face, always in badass, busting shit. It's like the opposite. You know what I mean? So
And it's interesting. Best Karen AU. I don't know who this. I feel like I should know who it is.
best current AU.
Is that rare? I don't know. It doesn't matter. But
Isn't it Didi?
anyway, they linked the panel from Evo 2K15 with like some interesting points that never eventuated. Where it's
Oh yeah, I remember.
large character. I'm just going to read it for
Give
the
me
audio
the feedback.
Yeah, so for the audio listeners, large character diversity in each tournament, don't greatly nerf characters, buff the weaker ones, community feedback, all about the players, make the game interesting through having players express their characters. And to me, a lot of these points I think didn't come into fruition because of like, Sony was like, we want to push our hardware, get it out the door, and then Capcom spent 3 years like plugging holes.
Yeah.
So I think if I was Capcom, the lesson I would take away from this is you need more single player content, because the tour is not going to sell your game as much as you think it is.
Players.
And Tekken had this as well. Like all fighters have had this. The tours do not sell your game as much as they think they do. So you need to cater to casuals a lot better.
Yeah, the Smash. Oh my god, the single player content.
And what you were saying, BK, about like the testers, I think most competitive fighting game players, like, you go into season 1 expecting the game to be shit. If it's fun, no one cares. Season 2 is where you got to cater to the competitive people. Like, obviously you need like a baseline, I guess, not brokenness, like cohesiveness in the game. But if you have Ryu-chan, like Mika, whoever as the meta season 1. Like look at Dragon Ball, like that system, like sparking shit. Sparking it does not function correctly, but it doesn't matter because they get a pass on their first year, you know, because the IPs carried them. I think the product is shit, but obviously, like I'm in the minority on that one. It's all right, but you know, I think if Capcom like caters to the casuals, sort of put their foot down and understand like where they misstepped this season, they could realign. But
I feel honestly Capcom has come a long way in the last 3 years, because like you said, one point you bring up that I actually do agree with. They did kind of get cut by Sony. And they did kind of spend the last 3 years trying to patch holes, and I feel like in their own weird way they are trying to improve their product as much as they can and make it as appealing as they can for the people. But yeah, again, like you still can't polish a piece of to eventually.
I mean, yeah, like it's no one is gonna get to the end of Street Fighter 5 and be like Street Fighter 5 is my favorite fighting game.
Yeah.
Like no one is that passionate about the game. It's fun. I enjoy it. We enjoy it. That's why we play it. But in 5 years' time, I'm not going to be like, man, I'm like, let's pull out Street Fighter 5 Season 1 and let's just bust out some areas. Remember 8 frames, boys? They were good old days. No one.
Nash PS5 more until
no one.
unblockable.
Snatch. Good old Snatch.
So, last thing I want to talk about before just we wrap this up is biggest and losers of the patch. Who you guys think? I think Manar got hit pretty bad.
Cammy.
Cammy.
I played Cammy today because I'm trying to like get fight money to unlock Kage because you know I'm just can't, right? She sucks. Cammy's got nothing.
Really?
I did so many combos on the CPU and it's still not stunned. They're not dead. It's the damage on the stun.
I saw they nerfed the pushback on his stand.
I mean, yeah. I get the damage part, but they nerfed that as well.
Damn, son.
Top.
Yeah.
Ken lost big time.
Ken.
Yes and no. Like honestly, I think he's
he's
not
not
quite the same or got it a little bit better. Like
he's not high in the tier list, but he's not getting worse. You know, like you expect these patches to, like I said, drastically change the tier list, right? Ken is actually in the same space. Ryu got a little better, but if you're talking about top 5 winners, Bison, Sakura,
Big time.
Bison,
Alex.
Sakura, Alex, yeah.
Yeah.
That means the biggest loser is us because now we have to watch fucking Sakura's shitty animations for a whole year.
There was a Sakura at LCQ actually.
I mean, like Sakura's cool.
He played pretty ham, by the way.
But the actual way the character looks is like, I don't want to look at that. Like, I'm the biggest loser because I have to look at Sakura's animation.
Yeah, it's...
Oh, Cammy plays going to play Sakura now?
No, they're going to Rashid or Ibuki.
They're going to Margo.
Yeah.
Reverse Margo.
Reverse Margo.
Manan, I think, is a big loser.
Yeah.
She's now in the try-hard status because... So the three big things they changed was V-Trigger 1 is now 3 bars, which we were expecting. But what I thought they would do to make up for that is like encourage the use of the V skill on block more. Like Sako, what he would do in block strings, he'd do a lot of recall combos that had V skill. And I thought what they would do is buff maybe on block, give her a little bit of meter, because if you're defending against Mana, you can stand in ranges where she can't do V skill into recall. Like you can play around it a bit more. And the fact that they didn't give that to Mana means that 3-bar V trigger on like a squishy character, she could potentially get stunned in a way where she could not use a V trigger in that round, which automatically drops her down to about mid tier on the tier list. Like she's still good, her neutral's incredible, but she cannot scam you. Like she should never be allowed to scam you the way she did. But she's now in try hard territory. Like there's no real reason to play Menard unless you're a pedophile or a sucker.
So another big loser, maybe I think 30. He was bullhead in V-Trigger, now -9. So he actually, like against half the class, he's actually punishable and you die from it.
I hate watching Birdie play.
And like
Birdie's fine.
the armor change, where if you get hit by an armor move, the stun is reduced by half as well. And if you have no life and you go for an armor move, you get wide. So like Zangief can't flex with no life anymore.
Yeah,
that's good. I like that change.
And they can't trade fireballs when they have no life with armor. Who else is no? Guile, he got nerfed. Not that bad, but I reckon like just to make him like at least not God tier. So that's actually 3 frames on whiff now, so you can actually whiff punish it or walk back after walking out to make whiff.
What about Falcon?
Hulk, I don't actually play the character at all. Like, she's one of the DLC where I never tried when she came out. So I don't know how she plays.
-3 to +2 on her fireballs is big, but they also added the startup, so, you know. Justin was always a big advocate of Falk, so I reckon if you see Justin drop Manat, which he will, he 100% will drop that character, and pick up Falk, that's when you know. Because I think Justin, like, this season, he looked at how, like, playing lane got him, and Manat was busted enough where it was like, well, fuck, I should maybe play lane, I can win some money, you know?
Yeah, Abigail, pretty big nerf, free by V-Trigger.
Yeah.
Command throws all got nerfed, so I remember after CA, if you dash, you get a meaty command throw. You actually have to walk a bit more now, so you're essentially making that dash after CA, it's not even +2 anymore, it's like 0 even. So you can actually react or jab his command grab. That's a big nerf. So before, Abigail's can use V-reversal once and still get V-trigger later on for like a crazy comeback. Now, like, I think if you want
it also releases stump up.
yes. So
It's sensible.
It
Like,
does- yeah, it does
that's
pick
a
up.
really good change
Like-
to Abigail.
Question for you specifically.
Yeah.
Did you look at Cody at all?
So Cody probably one of the biggest winners besides Sakura, but I tried him out afterwards. He still is lacking things I want Cody as a player. So I wanted Cody to have like a really good button for anti-airs like Barrel's knee punch because he had that shoot hard ball. They didn't have anything fixed. They didn't do anything to that. They only buffed his walk speed. Added extra +1 frame on hit after Zong. So it's +3 now, meaning that since Cody is a 4 frame character, +3 on hit for pressure is actually good because he can actually jab now instead of trading, you know. Why should people trade on your pressure when you're on offense, you know? So that's pretty good as well. The one thing they nerfed is the range on his standing right kick. So before Cody, players used to just empty cancel that and like keep a visible wall with that kick. That got nerfed a bit. Overall, I think Cody will be like decent, but he's not busted. Like I don't see any character being busted, but Akuma's still good. Like
He's still
the funny thing about Akuma that he got more nerfs from season 2 to season 3 than this patch, where everyone was saying in season 3 Akuma's like top 3, you know, best character, you know.
All I did was take away the whiff fireball.
Yeah, whiff fireball still
Why?
there, like
just get rid of that and he's basically fine. I don't know.
Well, now he gets 2 DPs only, right? In V-trigger. I think that's pretty big, I gotta say.
Alex is not busted. I'm sorry.
No,
Alex is not busted.
Who said that?
Frieza. But, like, I'm glad your character's viable now, but like you're still gonna lose the
season
same
1
characters.
Alex was like that was busted, you know, but I'm not sure about this one.
We're all losers because EXDP crush counter is like 1.2 damage now.
Yeah, because
Stupid.
Because it makes sense because if you block a DP and you wanted to punish, right? Some characters had to go into crush counter, so that already added an extra 10% scaling. You know, like as Urine, right? I don't even do like a full charge crush counter unless I need the V gauge because I know the scaling on the combo actually makes it worse. So this change actually should have been before when they added the extra scaling on crush counters.
But it's not good because it applies to the characters who don't have that, like you're saying, and the characters that do have that. So they hit harder, and then the characters that don't hit as hard hit harder, sure. But then the characters they're rewarded.
No, it hurts the players that have EXDPs because.
But they're already hurt. They should be giving it to more players.
No, but if you think about the damage wise, it's actually less damage than before. Before the crush counter scaling, that's why I think it's there. Like in season 2, when you punish a crush counter, right? You did chunks. And then season 3, they added the 10% scaling there. Like it doesn't even feel like a crush counter combo, you know. So now in this, like when you actually block a DP, I think it's trying to get the mid ground up, season 2 level damage. But like,
yeah, that's right.
That makes sense.
It's like when you block a DP in season 3, right? Some characters maybe couldn't get a full combo of crush counter because of the pushback, like. So people started resorting to jumping combo. So you block your DP, I'll literally jump. I'll get bigger combo. But then I lose out on the crush counter V gauge.
Which is good.
So you kind of have to make a decision where now they want, alright, you should be always doing crush counters when you punish someone because the damage buff makes up for it.
But that's boring though. Like I like the choice. I like the idea of choosing between damage or V meter. I thought that was actually good because defense is already bad enough, and at least it's like, all right, as the attacker, I have to at least choose a little bit of what I want to sacrifice here. Do I want the V meter or do I want the
You
damage?
still have that choice though, right?
You do, but like BK's saying, it's it's incentivizing or like allowing maybe the same path. I guess.
I still think it's character specific though. It's
Yeah,
situation
it's very
specific.
character
So
specific.
it's still there. I mean, it's not gone. The
Like
choice
even,
is still
like even Karen, like when you block a DP, some Karens in season 3 never crush counter. They'll just do crouching medium punch and standing heavy, you know, because it was way more damage. But now maybe she'll go back into using standing heavy kick to get the V gauge as well, you know.
Like I appreciate, I like that they're trying because there's obviously going to be another patch before
Yeah,
the season
100%.
starts.
I'll if there's no patch, then I'll like a lot of people will quit. Like, I'll probably play less.
Who you guys trying out? Like to me, the biggest winner was Sagat because like there was subtle changes. Like the quality of life change on his stand light punch is big because it whiffs a lot less now, which was ridiculous. And he's a lot more mobile, which is good because the way zoners have to play in Street Fighter 5, it's all about smothering you. Like it's not down back zoning, it's like throw a fireball and move into a more advantageous position. Like Guile, he just walks in behind his V trigger, boom. Manat, like grey life. If you block, she's gonna throw an orb and walk forward. Sagat, he's mobile. Like they buffed his dashes. He's mobile. He moves. He can just like be in your face.
Yeah, I saw his backdash. I think Joe was doing. He was just literally backdashing. He's like, wow, Sagat's on ice skates.
They buffed him into the game. It's great. I really like that. So I'm gonna be trying out him. I'm not gonna drop Manat. Like I've made the joke before, but like I really think you've really got to want to play Manat to make her work with V Trigger 1. So
Right.
I want to see how V Trigger 2 pans out because if V Trigger 2 is easy, like Manat's neutral is brain dead easy. So if V Trigger 2 is viable, she could still be good for like deleting, just like grappler characters and that sort of thing. So I want to try those two. Chan, whatever, like she's the same character. She sucks, but she can play
Like
against
she'll
the
never
matchups, she's good.
like that's the problem about people complaining about season 1 characters never coming back. The only reason why they were good in the first place is because they had broken tools, you know.
But
Like,
even
that's why you'll never see Ryu good again because he was only good because of that broken stuff, you know. You can't make Ryu good without giving him back his season 1 stuff.
and I actually think if you had season 1 Chun-Li in like this season, she still would be the best character in the game.
Nah, she will.
No, because like she has trouble in the neutral. Like EX Kunai air fireballs, like that's the whole reason why she will never be anything other than like viable, but for tryhards. Like EX Kunai deletes her, air fireballs delete her. Like
No.
she will still have problems.
Season 1 Chun didn't need a zone or she can rush down. Think of it. She has imagine Kuma's forward heavy punch was quicker, plus on block, and combos leads to a combo that locks down. That was crazy. Alright? The reason why Chun sucks now is because of the V trigger scaling nerf as well. When you slide in the V trigger, that's already 10% scaling. You know, all the combos like add so much hits. What else?
I think the anti is her biggest thing though. The
Yeah,
fact
and her staying lucky in anti season 1 was like so good. Like it was better than Cammy's back medium, you know. Cammy lost that by the way, but she didn't get like a free plus 5 dashing mix up left right, you know.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
but
Good times.
like to
And
me,
TA into 50-50.
Yeah.
but I guess that's the last question for you guys. Like who are you trying? Like, I'm Chan, Akuma, Kage, Sagat, Manat.
If
just Kage and
Pick
Ken
one, whoever's
until
broken.
Fei Long with Yang.
keep
Fei
dreaming.
Fei Long will never come back.
Yeah,
Like,
there's no way.
You can
So
tell.
they gotta give him another special.
Right,
That's all, bro.
people are complaining.
Wrecking characters
People
are
are
gonna
complaining
be
about
easy.
Air Kunai. What makes you
Yeah.
think they're gonna get a record? You know?
No, make Rekka a combo ender for like a heavy, but make the usual ender of Rekka like of
Wrecking
special
characters.
different.
Remember when
Actually, that's a good idea.
No, because in what's the last Omega version? He had a ground stand like Law in Cross Second. You know what it is? You know that ground stand.
Yeah.
Yeah, give it something like that.
No,
Something
no.
like,
Yeah, here's a good
Rekka.
idea for records. Yeah, you make a record, a special that can only come out off normals on hit. So think of it like a timing combo. So I'll press heavy punch and then I'll do input record if it's on hit. So then you still play footsies by using your normal, but you're not throwing records raw break dead. It can only come out after you hit.
So it's only
normal.
after a normal.
Yeah, on hit. Yeah.
But then you're not playing a record pack. You're just doing your target combo.
Well, you
Records
still,
can't work in this game.
no, records
and Dark can't work in
is
this
like
game.
as crazy as having Yun's dive kicks in Street Fighter 5. You can't. It deletes neutral too much.
Mm.
I reckon they can figure something out. Just work around.
People are complaining about already
EX normals that are plus on the block that delete neutral, but you don't think, you know.
Oh,
Like,
right.
yeah, Valve's Rush Punch, Uranus Tackle, Kuma's Demon Flip. Like, people don't like that shit, you know. Imagine putting in a record that's safe, meterless too. See,
No, make
so-
it unsafe. Just make it a different combo record.
Speaking of biggest losers, Ibuki players. Now they have to
No, Ibuki.
No,
is
no,
still
they
top
hang
three.
on. They have to remap their block. They have to remap their block button from back tech wake up combo because they finally changed their back roll animation. So now Ibuki players can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna back tech and then fucking target combo into V trigger. Like fuck off. A, it's -2 on block, and B, the animation's changed. So welcome to the game that we've all been playing for 2 seasons.
Nah,
Fucking
Ibuki players
Ibuki.
gonna stop pressing V skill and start pressing tech now.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they still fuck that move.
What about you, BK? Who are you playing?
So I'm gonna play Kage, give him like a good decent month or so. If he doesn't turn out as good as I want him to, I'm gonna main Ibuki.
Alright.
So with Yurin as a character himself, he did not get any big changes, so no big nerfs, no big buffs. I could see him high in the tier list just because his bad matchups are worse, Kami, Guile. But then he's not like brain dead top 3 like season 2, you know. He's still gonna think about your matchups more. He doesn't win his good matchups better, you know. He only makes his bad matchups even or even a little bit in his favor. So with Yurin, I think he's not gonna cut it. Because when you expect like a big balance patch, right? You expect maybe your bad matchups become good matchups, or even, right? No. Akuma's still gonna be a problem for him. Ibuki's still gonna be a problem for him. Manat might be even. Rashid's still gonna be a problem for him. Who else? Oh, I'm missing top 5. Kami might be even, you know. So yeah, so it's not even that bad. Like, but as a Yurin player, you want to be like, you know, strong, you know. At least a few changes I wanted for Yurin, make his Aegis scaling less, not as much, so he actually finishes around instead of going into a reset. Because look at Ibuki, right? If she wants to kill you, she can kill you. She has the resources. Now Yurin has to go for a reset, otherwise, like, you're resetting neutral, which is dumb. Another change I wanted for Yurin. Changing back his forward medium punch to give a less recovery, so his knockdown setups are better. He gets like a proper 50-50 like season 2, because now when he ends in forward medium punch after Aegis, there's extra 2 frames of recovery, so it's harder to walk under and what's up. But yeah, from season 2 he was only good because of throw loops, standing heavy punch, dash. I think that was too strong as well.
It was.
Yeah, he shouldn't just throw a button and get like a full dashing
That
combo.
was horrible. But +2 Cash Money Kick, that was.
That was actually.
Oh,
That was accident. I think
I
that
think
was
that was a typo.
Yeah, that was a typo.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way Green could have gone away with a +2 crash immune kick, because then that would make him better than Vega in every way. You know, because Vega literally plays the same way. Meeting crash immune with a throw or whatever. But yeah, if I could play Ibuki, I think she was like, she's what I wanted from Yurin. You know, good conversions, mix-ups, a better walk speed, 3 frames, and a decent throw.
That makes sense.
Hectic.
Before we finish up, you know, we should definitely touch on the fact that both these gentlemen sitting on our sides are, you know, part of organizations. Do you want to tell us a bit more, for starters, about Kanga and what you have to do with them in 2019? You know, how do you get with them and stuff like that, and then we move on to DK.
Alright, so how this all started, it was from BAM, the first tournament of Dragon Ball. You know, like, the game's big, everyone's hyped about it, you know, it's Dragon Ball, everyone's going to play it. They did contact me through Twitter, and that was about joining Kanga. And I wanted to travel as a Dragon Ball player as well, so I was interested in the game. You know, more opportunities would be better. We want to get stronger, we want to grow the scene. And that was, you know, it just happened. With that, we went quite a lot of places. So this year I traveled Southeast Asia Major, went there, went to Paris, that was for Street Fighter, went to America for Evo, so it's been a very good run. Hoping so next year would be the same.
Sweet. And you're of course one of the
Yeah. So
biggest.
my sponsor is the Chiefs Esports Club.
Mm-hmm.
They're mainly League of Legends, Rocket League, and CS team. I got first contacted back when before I went to EVA Japan actually. So I guess it was
Really?
off my recent win from Red Bull.
Mm-hmm.
They saw the news and thought maybe they want to look into it. And I guess they got the news that Japan was coming, so they signed me on for that as well. After I came back from EVA Japan doing pretty well as well, I guess that
More incentive.
yeah, gave them more incentive. So from there, contracts for a year. And then they sent me to Cyber Gamer,
Mm-hmm.
BAM, Evo, and then there was more tournaments I wanted to go for, like Cyber Gamer, but I just didn't feel like it. I could have asked for it, but experience Cyber Gamer from season 1. I didn't like the tournament itself, so I passed on that.
Also, that going to see.
Nah, it was too close to Paris, and I wanted to just chill out a bit because I remember coming back from Evo, it was like a good 2 weeks. I didn't want to play games at all. I didn't want to get that feeling just before Paris. And then also playing Juvini as well. Sadly, obviously we went to SXC or HM, it was there, but for next year, hopefully even travel maybe to New Zealand or check their scene out.
I'm definitely going New Zealand next year.
Yeah, seems like they have literally dedicated community there, and I think it's about time where most Aussie players should start looking
I mean,
there.
they travel so much to our tournament.
Yeah, they always come to us, so we should look after.
Definitely.
And more importantly, they're putting on like a hell of a show.
Yeah, they're actually doing really
yeah.
good there.
Causing a scene. They're in Gfinity.
I mean, speaking of New Zealand, I just want to give a shout out to my man Tufts and Dave for hooking me up with this sweet standing fist Domamu shirt.
I didn't know the moment.
It's fucking sick, yeah. And
They
Yeah,
should
the
put
nice
the colours they always use, so it's more noticeable.
Yeah.
In the letters,
Yeah.
put the pink.
But they came through with the boy for the boy. So yeah, shout outs to Tufts and Dave for hooking me up. And of course New Zealand they're still keeping the spirit of Marvel alive. So
Good on 'em. Play what you like.
Exactly, bro. So shout outs to the fam in New Zealand.
But anyway, do you guys have any last shout outs before we go and close it out for the year? Literally for the year.
Shout outs to BKB actually.
Yes. Fuck
Where we
yes.
are.
Yeah, so before BKB even started, the only way Sydney we can get sessions was through YSD, which is a monthly thing, or that's it actually. Or place sessions at my house.
Home games.
yeah.
But
But don't just you can't.
given the space and where the location was, it's too hard for people to travel. I mean, you can play at home, but then there comes family. A bit of curfew. You don't want to be too loud. It's kind of restrictive, but here it just feels like home. It's good.
Yeah, so ever since BKB opened up, people have been coming out more, staying later, or even being more social,
Bringing this thing together.
Yeah, bringing the scene together. You're not just playing games; you're actually making friends, even. And the place holds different scenes, Tekken, even Smash, So and we play Mafia too, so it's a great way to learn.
I quit
Yeah.
Mafia.
That game, I think I gotta come back to the present. I'm playing too forward thinking,
See, the thing
I don't want to talk about Mafia.
my strats
I don't want to talk
my
about
strats
Mafia.
are from the future, I gotta come back to the
I
present.
had to quit Mafia. My hand was forced.
I gotta come back to the present, man.
I played Mafia with BK for so long, and that was the worst. And then at one point, last week or a couple of weeks ago, I had to play Mafia with Jaden, and I thought Mafia couldn't.
It was
actually,
good town.
Hold on, and I thought Mafia couldn't actually get any worse than playing with BK, and it actually did. And I still fucking soldier on until I had to play a game of Mafia with both BK and Jaden.
No, but we lost to the.
And I'm only human.
We lost to a guile player. We lost to a
I'm
guile
done.
player. He smashed.
I'm done.
We lost David, bro. There was a guile. There was a smash player.
Yeah, Jason.
quit
Yeah,
Mafia.
you
I
guys
quit
talk
Mafia.
too much. Just let you guys kill yourself.
Bro, he was just down back in Mafia,
good.
bro.
It's also stuff that you can't understand sometimes, but it's tactical.
I quit Mafia. I'm done with that game.
Did you have any shout outs?
Shout out to everyone. FGC is amazing. Come play some games. Come tonight. We're gonna run till what time? We
So
start
like 1
till-
a.m. So
Yeah,
if
come
you're
now,
free,
if
we're
you
running
drive,
till
it's not
for
too
another
late.
3 hours. You know, I'm gonna go home and sleep because I actually got a fucking job. You know, that I need to wake up early for tomorrow. So, but yeah, definitely shout out to BKB, Battle Cat Bunker, Facebook, Twitter, Cat with a K. You know, it's where we are right now. I'm guessing most people in the chat know about BKB. You know, spread the word. Tell someone who doesn't know. You know, come with them if you haven't came before. Come check it out yourself. You definitely will not regret it.
And listen to the episode if you haven't. We did a whole thing about BKB
Yes,
like a
we
month
did
ago.
definitely do BKB episode. This is our last official.
You can tell them, but it's not set in stone, so we're not promising anything.
This is our last official episode for the year. Because you know the gentleman to my left will be going back to Japan.
That's me. Hi.
January 7th. What we have planned is sometime next week after Christmas, before the New Year's. What we're gonna do is a round table sit down where we're not gonna cover any news, any results or anything. We're just gonna have a few people sit down.
Our friend, we're gonna the people we usually talk about games with.
So
And we're gonna talk
just
uncut.
sit down and it's gonna be just raw, uncut, just our pure opinions. I'm guessing BK and Didi will be joining us again. We might get Yunus, we might get Red Daddy, we might get Shane, you know, Lupa. You know, we want to get like different people from different scenes and just talk FGC state. You know, going into 2019, what we think is gonna happen, what we want to happen. You know, reflect on 2018, what brought us, what it didn't bring us. It's gonna be an open discussion. Everyone feel free to join us. If you have any questions, you know, hit us up. Do you want to say something?
Till Abby
Oh!
and Waz,
Oh!
they're gonna fight each other to see who wants to earn the right to verse me in MK11.
Oh! Alright, it's going. Alright, we can't have an episode without a call out.
Because because coming into MK11, like, I think I'm gonna put a lot more time into it just because I know there's like such a bigger scene to play against.
Mm-hmm.
In the Street Fighter community, like even just in Sydney, like not many people come out to play. You know, usually just me, Space Kids, Rumors, DD. But I know with MK at least, like you get.
The scene, NRS scene is a bit fickle. Like they come out first and then they just kind of die out there. I fucking hope they stick out, but honestly the NRS scene so like inconsistent. So, yeah. But look, I want to be optimistic. You know, I'm always optimistic for any game because I genuinely want any fighting game to succeed. Any fighting game. So yeah. But yeah, shout outs. Call out to Abby
And Waz.
and Taz. You know, but Taz is kind of like the best in Australia, bro.
New game, bro. New game.
Oh shit!
New game.
Alright.
Fish gotta eat.
Yeah.
We gotta eat too, so we're gonna wrap this show up. Like Youssef said, it's the last one for the year, but we'll be back next year. Twitch.tv/Gamrah, GAMRAH. YouTube.com/Gamrah for the archives. It's on iTunes as well if you prefer the audio show. We might do a very off the cuff one, like we were talking about.
Yeah.
But
It's very raw.
we'll get back in the official ones once I'm settled in next year. So follow Youssef on Twitter _Fade_. I'm Gamrah on Twitter with all that stuff.
Follow these two lovely gentlemen as well.
At
Fisher Dialogue.
And
PK
Sama.
PK Sama.
Yes, simple, easy.
The official.
See?
Official dialogue.
That's it.
Official
The fake
dialogue.
ones out there. You gotta know who's the real one.
Is your Kage real?
Oh yeah.
Oh hell yeah.
Just wait. Give it like 2 weeks.
Official Kage.
So thanks for sticking with us as we've come back after a little break. Have a great Christmas, New Year, holiday, whatever you're celebrating. Stay safe over the break. We'll be doing some streaming, so we'll be back when we're back. Youssef, thank you as always. BK Didi, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, guys.
We'll see you when we see you.
See you next time.